Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch App Reviewers. In this video, I have maybe 4 stories to go over with you guys. So let's get right into this. First things first, Facebook is fighting the US government right now. It looks like the US government is trying to get some information on an ongoing investigation into the MS-13 gang, and I guess they used Facebook Messenger to chat on. The government obviously wants them to break into this, break their encryption to get into this person's account to see their messages. And Facebook's like, nah, dude, we can't do that, or else we will compromise pretty much everyone because we will have to remove encryption, which is absolutely crazy. So hopefully Facebook stands their ground here and does not give in, just kind of like Apple did when they didn't give in either. So we'll have to see what happens with that, but encryption is very important. All right, next up, Motorola's new P30 smartphone blatantly copies iPhone 10. So when I saw this before this Mac Rumors post was even up, I thought it was a joke. Like, I didn't think this was real, but if you go to Motorola's website, you can see this, and this is just disgusting. Like, if you have any respect for Motorola after this, I don't know what's wrong with you, but look at this. I mean, it looks just like the iPhone 10 even in their ads, even to the background. Like, come on, switch the background at least. But no, they copy this thing straight up. I mean, the camera is uglier. It's got a fingerprint sensor on the back, which is kind of ugly. It's got this horrible chin at the bottom, but the notch is pretty much the same. It's a little lower, but I mean, come on, that is blatantly copying the iPhone 10. And this looks like the Huawei P30 with the colors right there. I mean, come on. Seriously? Like, I thought those were iPhones for like half a second. Like, if they don't get sued over this, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think there will be a lawsuit with this one just because Motorola is a pretty big company, and this is pretty sad. I mean, it's just a gross version of an iPhone. And I think people are getting kind of fed up with this. There's so many phones, I think like 20 plus phones this year that have copied the iPhone's design. And it's like, why would you want that? But anyways, I think actually Android itself is gravitating people towards Apple just because of how gross the copies are of the iPhone. So people are just like, why don't I just get the real deal of the iPhone rather than some, fake knockoff Android phone? So anyways, I just think this is pretty bad, and I don't know. I have no respect for Motorola after this. This is just low and lame. iPhone for the win. Next up, Apple was actually hacked the other day. Well, not the other day. Technically, it's been happening for like over a year. But this 16-year-old kid in Melbourne, Australia, admitted to hacking into Apple's internal servers on multiple occasions over a year. And the funniest thing is the teen reported. No, this isn't the funniest thing. This is the second funniest thing. The teen reportedly had a method of accessing Apple's servers that worked flawlessly on multiple occasions until he was caught. Like, of course it worked flawlessly until you're caught. But anyways, he got 90 gigs worth of confidential files and accessed customer accounts, storing information in a folder on his computer named Hacky Hack Hack. So what happened was Apple noticed this, and they're like, yo, we got some unauthorized access. Contained it and reported the incident to law enforcement. So I think they went straight to the FBI first, and then the FBI found that it was someone in Australia, so they alerted the, what is it called? Like the Australian authorities. It says somewhere in here, I think. I read too many different articles on this. But the federal whatever in Australia, those cops came and found his laptops and stuff and matched up with the serial numbers, and obviously found Hacky Hack Hack and all the data in it. That is just wild. Really? You could tell he's 16 years old, but he had his lawyer say, hey, don't give away my name. First of all, because he's 16. Second of all, he's apparently a very notorious hacker. This kid's probably decently smart, and obviously gets into shit. So whatever, that's kind of funny. But Apple says no personal data was compromised, so that's good. But still, come on, Apple, up your game a little bit. Entry-level 13-inch MacBook, redesigned iPad Pros with faster 18-watt USB-C charger, coming in September, but no new iPad mini. So this report's coming from Digitimes. They're hit and miss with their stuff. They're not exactly completely reputable, and they're talking about like other stuff. But I want to use this time real quick to kind of go over what I think Apple's doing. So you guys can read this if you want. Go ahead and pause it. But I'm not going to go over this too much because I'm going to give you a general overview of Apple's products. So think about it like this. Apple is going to release the iPhone X2, the iPhone X Plus, and a 6.1-inch iPhone this year. They've already released a MacBook Pro 2018, but they still need to update either the MacBook/MacBook Air line. So think about it like this. This is what Apple's planning to do. They're going to release the premium things first. For example, it's already happened. The MacBook Pro 2018 is already out. They've released it. So people that are looking to buy a new Mac here, let's just pull up the buyer's guide. Click on Macs. Look, don't buy any of these except for the MacBook Pro. That's the only one that just got updated. So if you're in the budget for a lower end computer from Apple, I mean, none of these have been updated in so long. The MacBook Air, even the iMac, don't buy any of these, especially the Mac Mini. What Apple's doing here is actually pretty smart. They're cornering the market. So first what they're doing is they're releasing these premium products. So we got the MacBook Pro just updated, 37 days ago. It's the one I've got. It's a great machine. Now, some people they don't want to spend that kind of money, but right now they're like, what do I do? And some of them are just going to go ahead and upgrade to the MacBook Pro. Then Apple later in September is going to release a MacBook Air update. They'll probably maybe do a Mac Mini. I don't know. That's kind of whatever. iMac probably as well. So these will probably get updated within the next, 4 months. And Apple just wants people to buy on impulse, basically. Spend all your money on a MacBook Pro, and then they'll release this later. I think that's what they're doing here. They're going to do it with the phones, which I'll explain in a second. But think about it the other way. If they would have released a MacBook or a MacBook Air, they would have consumed some of their own market by people just going out and buying that instead of the MacBook Pro, like if they did this later. So they really had to release the MacBook Pro first, and if they released them all at the same time, obviously that would cannibalize sales as well. So hopefully that makes sense. They're doing the premium stuff first, trying to get that out a couple months, and then they're going to do the cheaper stuff. Now, how does that translate to iPhones this year? Well, I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but there's been a couple reports that say, hey, Apple's having some issues with that cheaper 6.1-inch iPhone. I wonder why. They're going to release it later. Breaking news, whatever, you heard it here first. You guys can reference this freaking video. In about a month, when the iPhone X2 and the iPhone X Plus are released, you're not going to see probably the 6.1-inch iPhone, or at least it won't be on sale right away. I think what they're going to do is they're going to release the iPhone X2 and the iPhone X Plus. Those are the premium devices. They're going to try to get people to upgrade and buy that. And then in October, when, the supply issues fix, well, maybe they are really having supply issues with the LCD screen light leakage. They did say that, but I don't know. In October, I think they're going to release the cheaper one, and then people can buy that for their Christmas gifts if they're last minute, whatever, and if they held out. I think a lot of people are just going to say, hey, I don't know when Apple's going to release this. Like the average consumer is going to go into the store. They're going to say, oh, there's an iPhone X2 or an iPhone X Plus. Let's get that instead of waiting, because they're not even going to know what they're waiting for. So that's kind of like my little rant here and kind of an insight for you guys that are actually still watching this. If you guys wanted to know what I think Apple's going to do, that's what I think they're going to do. So now you have a little bit of insight. So MacBook Pro already released. Expect a MacBook Air update within the next couple months, probably near the iPhone release. And then once the iPhone X2 and iPhone X Plus are released, I think in October, a month later, they will release the cheaper 6.1-inch. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Hopefully you found it enjoyable and hopefully learned something. You probably did just by my little nuggets of information right there. But hit this video with a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.